Welcome to our second annual virtual Lair Open House. My name is Mike Yaley. I am the General Manager of Pinecrest Operations and the Director of the Lair the Golden Bear. Before we get started, I want to introduce our team who is with us tonight, starting with Kathy Connolly, who is our Senior Director of Pinecrest Operations. Kathy's waved there. Next up, we have Joshua Dobson, who is our Director of Operations and is our Staff Coordinator. Hi, Josh. We have Pat Graffis, who is our Director of Facilities and is the Manager at Camp Gold.
Good evening.
There's Pat. We have Michael Day, who is our Senior Director of Reservations, our Senior Coordinator of Reservations. We have Caroline Connolly, who is our Senior Coordinator of Operations as well. And then we have Michael Gardner, who is our Manager of Food Service and Hospitality. Mike, if you want to wave.
Well,
and I think last but not least, we have our Manager of Camp Blue joining us, Keith Wong.
Hello.
There's Keith. Hopefully I didn't forget anyone. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go through a presentation. Most of the folks who signed up for this are prospective new campers, have not camped at the Lair before. So we're going to go through a slide deck. I'm going to talk about what the Lair is. Various members of the team will talk at certain points. If you have questions as we go along, please put them in the chat. We'll try and answer them in real time if we can, but certainly at the end, we will go through any questions people have about the Lair and about the presentation. So with that, hopefully you can all see my screen. And this is the Lair of the Golden Bear 2022. So what is the Lair of the Bear? For those who don't know, it's the oldest of all Alumni Association owned family camps in North America. We have about 10,000 people come through each year. The Lair started in Pinecrest, California, which is about 150 miles due east of the Bay Area in 1949. This will be our 74th summer. We have 3 separate but contiguous camps. They're all linked by the North Fork of the Stanislaus River. We have Camp Blue, Camp Gold, and Camp Oski. And we reside on public land. We are on leased land from the United States Forest Service, and we are in the Stanislaus National Forest. Here are just some pictures of what camp looks like. As I said, the Lair is about 150 miles east of Berkeley, about a 3-hour drive. We're located up in the mountains at about 5,600 feet. The nearest big-ish town is Sonora, which is about 30 miles from camp. And we're about a mile from Pinecrest Lake and just a couple of miles from Dodge Ridge ski area. Some pictures of Pinecrest Lake here, and then sunset. So you stay in a tent cabin, and these cabins hold families of any size, and they come equipped with bed frames and mattresses, shelves for your stuff. Each cabin has a overhead light and has an outlet for electricity. So it's not camping on the ground, but it's certainly not a 5-star resort. Some more pictures of the inside, and then some, picture of the outside of one of the tents. Some people go all out and decorate their tents. In addition to our family camp tents, we have just launched a new program at Camp Oski where we have year-round cabins. We will be having our 3rd weekend of hosting families. We have 5 cabins currently. Each of these cabins are fully winterized with their own private bathroom, a heater, a refrigerator, a microwave, and they sleep up to 6 people. There's a queen bed, a bunk bed, and a sleeping loft. And those are available now and will be available year-round as we develop our business plan. And we will ultimately have 15 cabins and a new lodge at Camp Oski. And these are more of a motel style where they come with linens. If you come up this winter, we will feed you, and we are 5 minutes away from Dodge Ridge. But most importantly, 10 of these cabins will be available this summer for the very first time to complement our traditional tent cabins. And then here's some pictures of people up in the snow enjoying Camp Oski this winter. And these are a couple shots of what it looks like inside these new cabins. So who attends the Lair? Campers range from newborns to 90 plus years old. More than 80% of our campers return year after year. And we have about 1,000 new campers, whether they come just for a weekend or for the full week every season. Many are not Cal alum. You don't have to be a Cal grad to camp at the Lair. We are open to everyone. And if you book by February 28th, that gives you the best chance of getting in to your first choice for camp. And it looks like we've got some 9th week gold campers, Camp Gold there. And then just some pictures of families being goofy, enjoying the Lair. So what does the Lair provide? What do you get? It's an all-inclusive vacation. You saw the accommodations. We give you 3 hearty meals per day. We have programs for campers of all ages. We have arts and crafts, swimming, music and shows, hikes, family activities like scavenger hunts and family s'mores. We have a health and wellness program, which includes yoga and massage. We have guest speakers, many of whom are Cal professors and faculty. We have age group programming where we watch your kids to give the parents, some time to do some of the other stuff. And we have nightly entertainment, campfires, talent shows, the guest speakers, music performances, sing-alongs, and one of the most popular events of the week is Disco Bingo. And I want to go back up to that second slide. I want to have Mike Gardner, our food service manager, talk a little bit about the food service program. Mike?
Yes, hi, I'm Mike Gardner. We just want to talk about food needs, dietary restrictions, allergies. We try to accommodate everybody as best as possible. So please, when you make your reservation, comment on any food service needs you would need. We have a section for it when you make the reservation. Also, after your first night arrival at breakfast the next morning, we meet with our head cook and host or hostesses on the deck and go over dietary needs for families and allergies for campers for the summer, for the week.
Great, thanks, Mike. Yeah, we really pride ourselves on making sure that people can come up and those who have dietary needs and restrictions are accommodated just like everyone else. So our Lair age group programs, they're daily activities led by our staff, our rock star staff for kids ages 2 to 17. Here's a couple of pictures of programs going on. The Cub Corral is for diaper graduates through kindergartners. That's more of a enclosed play area where you check your kids in and you check them out. And they do music, arts and crafts, story time, and nature activities. The other programs for the older kids are more just come and go as you please and don't necessarily check the kids in and out. But for the youngest kids, we definitely have the secure Cub Corral to corral them in. The older kids enjoy other activities such as scavenger hunts. We have horseback riding off-site. We go up the mountain a little bit. We have activities at the lake. And here's some photos of those activities. We have gold panning in the creek. That's a very favorite programming. I think that's gold pan and Pete on the log there. We also have a full activity or a full schedule of activities for adults. So we watch the kids so you can enjoy a yoga class, go on a hike, do pottery or tie-dye in our art program, play tennis, volleyball, basketball, go kayaking at the lake, relax at the pool. We have water aerobics every morning, or you can just hang out in your tent and enjoy the beauty of Pinecrest. And I think one of the most popular things at the Lair is there are people who do everything on the schedule, and there are people who will read 3 or 4 or 5 books during the week and do nothing that's on the schedule. So to each their own. So here's just some pictures of hikers. We are, as I mentioned, in the Stanislaus National Forest, and we are also very close to the immigrant wilderness. So there's an abundance of beautiful hikes within 30-40 minute drive of camp, and we lead hikes every day at each camp. Here's some pictures of the family activities. So a little bit more about the family time at camp. You can check the schedule. Last year, especially with COVID, when we were trying to figure out how to do things, we added more family friendly activities where people could stay in their pods and do things together. And so there's opportunities to do that as well, including the nighttime programming, shows by the staff, but also, again, go do arts and crafts together, go to the pool, play archery, all kinds of stuff. This is definitely a family camp. Some pictures of archery. Arts and crafts, one of the most popular places in camp. We do pottery, tie-dye, tile painting, t-shirt painting, pretty much all the traditional camp arts and crafts activities. And lanyards are a huge, huge hit. So who works at the Lair? I'm going to pass this off to Joshua Dobson, our Director of Operations and our staff coordinator. Josh?
Thanks, Mike. So Mike touched on this a little bit. Our programs are entirely ran by our student staff, it's comprised of about 150, depending on the year. We shrank our numbers for COVID, student staffers, and we do our best during the interview and hiring and training process to make sure it's just a great group of kids that your children will look up to, and kind of like was mentioned in the slideshow earlier, kids really look at these staffers like they are rock stars, and it's one of the biggest draws to camp. I think everyone kind of gets to hang out with the staff and feel like their age, because everyone's just running around a summer camp having a blast, and it's really comforting to know your kids are going to be taken care of by a staffer anytime, any day, wherever they are. And a lot of times parents just kind of check in with them at meals, and then they let them go and bother the staff all day long so that they can hang out and do their own thing. We are currently accepting applications for staffers for this summer. So if you know any college students in your life that you think would be a great fit at a summer camp like this, just tell them to Google Work the Lair, and they can find the application process pretty easy. But yeah, the staff is a huge draw to camp, and one of the most enjoyable parts is just seeing all the things they put on, from the shows to the art programs. We try to get the best student staff of any summer camp in the world at the Lair.
Great, thanks, Josh. One of the questions was, are the programs strictly birthday age? Could a mature 5-year-old join their 6-year-old sister in an older age group? And the answer is absolutely. We're flexible. You're on vacation. That's something that absolutely could be accommodated. All right, here's a picture of the staff with Keith leading the Camp Blue staff at one of our shows. I think that's a Saturday night show. So we have evening entertainment. Saturday night, there's a welcome campfire. The staff puts on a couple of different shows. They host disco bingo, and then they do what's called a hoot nanny on the last night, which is a sing-along and a staff music performance. But there is something every night with the guest speakers, disco bingo, and the shows. Pool time. Pool is probably the main attraction in each of the camps. S'mores galore. Kids love s'mores. Adults love s'mores. Who doesn't love a s'more? Athletics. We have one softball field at Camp Gold that's shared by all 3 camps. And then each of the camps have their own facilities. Volleyball, basketball, ping pong. Blue and Gold have tennis courts that Camp Oski campers walk over and use. So we have lots of athletic opportunities at camp. And like I said, take a hike in our gorgeous backyard. The Sonora Pass is up at about 10,000 feet, and that's about a 45-minute drive. And there are hikes just all over the place. You can walk from camp and hike, or you can drive from camp and hike. And like I said, a lot of people just relax, lots of music. It really is to your taste what you want to do, as much or as little as you want to do. So when is camp? Family camp this year is running June 18th through mid-August. We have 6 night sessions. That's the bulk of what we do. Saturday arrival before lunch, if you wish, and Friday departure after lunch. 3 all-inclusive family weekends also are on our schedule, and you can see that on our website. We also have adult-only weeks, which are very popular. We have our sports and recreation camp, which we've moved for the first time into June this year. Our women's wellness weekend is actually a four-day weekend, extremely popular. We've been doing that for 14th or 15th year this year. And our food and wine experience weekend in August, where we have a trained chef come up and teach classes and pair wines and food, and that's a very popular event as well. And we also do host some private groups. We have limited availability, but we do weddings, we do corporate retreats and private events, and we have a music festival the weekend after Labor Day. But as I said, the bulk of what we do is family camp, and that's what we're known for. We also have a week for those who are new and thinking about trying the Lair at Camp Oski during week 11. It's the only camp that's open week 11. I believe that starts August 13th. And it's a bit of a discount because some schools have started. So that's a good place to start if you're a new camper and your family schedule allows. And here's just some pictures of the adult weekends. The sports and recreation camp is professional tennis instructors, professional pickleball instruction, and hikes and professional golf instruction. And so now I'm going to have Kathy Connolly, our Senior Director of Pinecrest Operations, go through some frequently asked questions. Kathy.
Thanks, Mike. Yes, as he shared earlier, you don't have to be a Cal grad to camp at the Lair. We have many, probably 30+% of campers are not Cal grads. And no, it's not strange to camp if you're not a Cal grad. The Lair is very welcoming. So there is blue and gold around camp and some Cal fight songs at some of the shows, but otherwise it's just a good time and open to all. This is a reservation question. Some people want to know about booking with friends the same week. In our online reservation, there's a spot where you can enter a group name. And if everybody puts the same name, our reservations team catches that you guys are all trying to camp together. And so definitely it's very popular to do that, to try and be in the same camp, week, general area of tents. Yeah, and we're pretty successful in getting people together in the same camp. The difference between the camps, they're more similar than they are different. Camps Blue and Gold are larger, about 350 campers come per week, and Oski has about 175 campers. The facilities are pretty similar. They all have their own swimming pools, their own programs, age group programs, staff, campfire shows, etc. The biggest difference is that Camps Blue and Gold have some competitive tournaments where they play sports against each other. Campers play sports against each other, and also the Camps Blue and Gold play against each other in like a softball game. But otherwise, they're definitely more similar. And we find that whatever camp you start at, that becomes the camp you're very loyal to, because you have such a great experience with your first time camping with us. So you can't lose. All 3 camps are amazing. The difference between a week-long session and a weekend session, they're just shorter. We try and do a lot of the same programming that we do in our weekly sessions, but we don't have as much time. So we have an opening night campfire. We do disco bingo one of the nights, but we do have age group programs, meals. Everything is very similar. It's just over a 2 or 3 day stay, depending on the weekend. All right, back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Kathy. And a couple questions have come through. Question is, do men also come to Women's Wellness Weekend? And that is an absolute no. We have other weekends. The Sports and Recreation Week is definitely co-ed, as well as the Food and Wine Experience, but the Women's Wellness Weekend is just for women. Another question we have is, what if we can't get there until Sunday? No problem. We have several families each week that come Sunday. And then this is a great question. What are the chances of getting in? the chances are really, really good if you're flexible. If you have a number of different times you can come, Kathy and her team are really good at getting people in. So the more flexibility that you have, the more chance we can get you in on your first try. Let me just do a little something here. I will get through these questions because they're starting to come in. I'm going to finish the slideshow and then I'll get back to the questions. But basically, you know, our motto is life is too short not to be a part of this. And frankly, the secret is we get your kids hooked, because the kids are the reason that parents come back year after year, and we make it as fun as we can for parents. And actually, we have a lot of parents who, when they become empty nesters, keep coming, or we have adults that don't have kids that come. So the Lair is really for everybody. This is our final slide, but I want to just share a quick video that we put together that kind of gives a little bit of, let's see, what did I do? All right. So that is our presentation. I'm going to go through these questions, and I may call on some of the other members of the team to answer. Kathy, I'm gonna let you answer this one. How do you decide which tent to ask for? Kathy, do you want to give that one some tips on that?
Sorry. Yeah, we recommend you don't request a specific tent if you haven't been there. We'll do our best to get you a good one. So yeah, it's better not to put anything specific, because it would, if that tent has been rebooked by the camper that was there previously. Just briefly, our reservation process works that if you can't, this year it's in 2020, if you camped in 2020, you have the priority to rebook your same tent for this summer. So that's why there's so many returning families who get their same tent. But anything that isn't rebooked is open to new families. So yeah, that's why we suggest it's best just to put that you want a specific week ideally. And if you are trying to join friends, you can put that you're trying to join friends and provide that information in the reservation system.
Great. Next question is, how is the Lair experience as a new member versus a returning member? You know, our campers are very welcoming for new families. We have, as we mentioned in the slideshow, you know, 1,000 new campers each year. There's a steep learning curve for some of the traditions, but, you know, coming with just an attitude that you're going to have a great time. People are really, really nice about welcoming new campers. Next question is, do you need to bring your own sports equipment? Great question. You know, things like tennis rackets, baseball gloves, yes. Or pickleball, or what we call paddle tennis. We provide rackets, ping pong we have, volleyballs we have, basketballs we have, softballs we have. So, you know, some things you can bring, like a baseball glove and a tennis racket. Next question, can we get 2 tents next to each other? We have someone who snores really loud. So I don't think we can all stay in the same tent. I know how that goes. Yeah, if there are 2 tents available next to each other and a camper from last year didn't rebook, we can do our best to get you 2 tents next to each other for sure. We do ask, or we do require that there's 1 adult in each tent. So sometimes people want to put their kids in one tent and then the parents next door in another tent. We don't allow that. We do need an adult in each tent. Kathy, I'm going to go back to you on this next one. It says, how does the getting in work? Is it a lottery? You want to talk about that?
Sure. The quick answer is it's somewhat a lottery. Basically, based on what's open, what is open and what everybody's trying to do. So while technically our system does place you in spots, our team looks carefully at everybody's reservation. So if you're being specific about something and we see what you're trying to do, trying to join another family that's already there or coming with friends and you guys all want to be in the same week, you can rest assured that we're not going to put some of you in one week and some of you in a different week or different camp. And we call in advance if we see, hey, here's what we see we can do for you. Does this make sense? Are you guys okay with this? So you don't have to worry about just being placed somewhere and maybe not what you're looking for. We're pretty good about paying attention to all the details.
Great. And then I think that goes for the same, this next question. If you have a big family, how do you request enough tents to accommodate everyone? You fill out the reservation form and then you call the office in Berkeley and talk to Kathy or Caroline or Michael, and they do a great job getting people in together where possible. All right, next one. Some people in our party have physical limitations. Can you talk about accessibility, i.e. do all tents have stairs? Can you talk about the walking distance to the dining hall? Yeah, it is in the mountains. It is not even territory. We can tell you which tents have stairs, which don't. We allow people to drive to meals to accommodate people who can't get around very well. But yeah, and again, you call the office and they can answer very specifically which tents are better for folks with mobility issues. It's definitely a challenge, but it's not a challenge that we can't overcome and that we don't accommodate as much as we possibly can. All right, so I joined late, so apologies if you covered, but just confirming that teens also enjoy the camp. Yeah, we have teen programs. We have teen directors in each camp. We do, teens are definitely a challenge to get them motivated to come to programs. So we do a lot more nighttime activities with teens. But yeah, absolutely. There's some weeks where we'll have 50 or 100 teens combined with the camps, and they do activities together with the other camps. So even if there's only 15 or 20 in one camp, there might be 30 or 40 in another camp. They combine to do their activities. So yeah, teens can have just as good a time as anybody.
And I just want to hop in and say a lot of times teens just can't wait to get on staff. That's where a lot of our staffers come from, are campers that have grown up and are ready to staff. So a lot of them are looking to staff.
Great point, Josh. Next question, would it be a problem if one person stays for a few days and then another person takes their place? No, and actually a couple of years ago, we switched from a at Blue and Gold, from a per person fee to a per tent fee. So you're paying for the tent for the week. You can have up to a certain number of people in there. So if you interchange people throughout the week, as long as you're under that max number, you can come and go. We do ask, with COVID, we do have some policies where you have to, everyone has to come in with a negative test. So they'll be subject to those rules.
And I'll just jump in on that everybody does need to be pre-registered. So it's not really like you come and go with people in your tent.
Yeah, as long as we know they're coming and going, who's coming and who's going. What dates are the family weekends? That's not, I don't have it at the tip. Kathy, do you have that in front of you?
Yeah, I do. First one is August 12th through 14th. And there's another one, August 26th. Is it August 26th? 26th through 28th. And then Labor Day weekend as well. Those are the 3 weekend sessions.
And Labor Day is a 3-night stay, correct, Kathy? Yeah. Okay, so this question, what is different than normal due to COVID? For example, outside eating. Yeah, so this year is going to be different than last year. We're still waiting to make final decisions on exactly what things are going to look like. But basically, we're following CDC guidelines, and that we're in Tuolumne County. So we follow Tuolumne County guidelines. But yeah, we have expanded our outdoor seating tremendously. So anybody who wants to sit outside can. Our dining halls are very open, airy anyway. So some people do sit inside, but it's not like being in a restaurant where it's fully enclosed. The windows are all screens. But yeah, so that's one thing. Depending on mask mandates, we may have people wear masks in line to get their food, which we did at different times last summer when Delta flared up. And And then in the bathrooms, if there are mask mandates, we'll ask people to wear masks in the bathrooms. But the Lair is really the best place you want to be in a time like COVID. It's completely outside. You can distance yourself. You can be in nature. You can go on hikes. So we will have some COVID policies, and those will evolve in the next few months as we get up to camp. But we've been through it for 1 year, and we're confident that people will feel safe in camp. What has the recent history with wildfires, cancellations, and smoke issues been? Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge. Last year, since we were on the Stanislaus National Forest and we're under a special use permit, they closed the entire state of California, every national forest in the state at the end of August. So we had to send people home. We have had issues with smoke for sure. We have policies and we have masks, and we have had to send people home in the past. We don't like to do it. We don't want to do it, but if it gets too bad, the air quality is really bad for an extended period of time, it's not good for our campers or our staff. So it's been an issue. We've shrunk the number of offerings we have into September because of the wildfire. So we're definitely adjusting what we do based on the realities of wildfire. Next question is, can we request a 4-person tent with a bunk bed so that 5 people can stay there? Absolutely. The 4 and 6-person tents typically have bunk beds in them anyway. All our beds bunk, and any requests like that we can accommodate. Next one says, I'm the Cal grad. My husband is not. To get 2 tents, do we both need to be Cal grads, members of the Alumni Association? Technically, yeah, 1 person in each tent needs to be a member. The Alumni Association is open to anyone. You don't have to be a Cal grad. I believe it's $75 a year. But yeah, each tent needs 1 member of the Alumni Association in the tent. My daughter is wondering if you have any gymnastics activities. We have plenty of space to do cartwheels and somersaults and handstands. We don't do any staff-led gymnastics, but it's out in nature, so there's plenty of room to roam around and jump around. Regarding the winterized cabins, is it correct that those are charging per person plus an additional fee for those tents? Yes, for the summertime, Camp Oski, because it only has large tents, Camps Blue and Gold have small, medium, and large tents. So we sell those per tent. Camp Oski essentially only has large tents. So we charge per person. And the new winterized cabins are a per person charge with a premium for the bathroom in your tent in the winterized cabin. With the exception of the winter program that we're doing now, those we're selling by the tent for the weekend. So it's an all-inclusive price for the cabin for the weekend. Are vaccinations required for all campers and staff? They're not required. They're highly, highly encouraged. But what we're doing, and especially with this Omicron variant where people with vaccinations and boosters are getting it, we are requiring everybody, regardless of vaccination status, to come in with a negative test 72 hours before arrival, age 3 and up. Anybody who's in one of our programs, ages 3 and up. And that's the policy on February 2nd. Whether that changes and gets more strict as we get closer depends on what happens between now and then. But at this point, and last year we had 100% vaccination with our staff, and we were in the high 90% with our campers. So most people are complying, but for us, it's coming in with the negative test is the absolute necessity. Is Camp Oski Dining Hall still in the tent? It still is. We're in the design phase. Camp Oski had a catastrophic flood in their old dining hall several years ago. We're in the process of rebuilding, but we're probably 2 more summers with the dining tent at Camp Oski. Great question here. Is there internet access anywhere in the camps? We didn't address that. And absolutely there is. It's not the fastest internet, not like you're going to see it at home in the Bay Area, But yeah, we have access at the camp lodges. We have what's called the Vista Lodge, which is in between blue and gold. We have it at the various dining halls. So yes, you can check email. It's good for, I've done plenty of Zoom calls on the Lair internet, but really for checking email and keeping connected with your home office or with your family at home, we do have internet. Next question, is there air conditioning in the winterized cabins or only heaters? Just heaters. There's a couple of windows in there, so you can open for a cross ventilation and a ceiling fan. It doesn't get too terribly hot in the summer most of the time. I mean, our hottest days will be 90 degrees, and that's the exception, not the norm. So no, there is no air conditioning in those. Next question. Keep them coming, you guys. These are great questions. Do you sign up for extra activities like horseback riding and spa services before arrival or when you get there? Kathy, do you want to talk about that process?
Sure. Some programs you can pre-book and most you don't, or many you don't. So horseback riding is something you do when you get to camp, you sign up for. But we do have programs such as our Vista dinners, which are like we do offer a prime rib dinner with all the fixings for adults only up at our Vista Lodge. That's an add-on, and you can pre-book that and get together with friends and book that together. We do have massage, and this past year we did offer pre-booked massage. So it's a variety. Some programs can be pre-booked and some won't, but we make sure and communicate all that to campers in advance so you won't worry about selling out on something that you want to do. You can sign up early for.
Good question. Next question, any issues with wildlife like bears at camp? Well, I mean, lots of cow bears at camp. We do have an occasional bear sighting. We are in their home. We don't typically have problems with bears invading camp or being a nuisance. It's been many years since we've had a bear try and get in one of our buildings. And I'm talking 25 or 30 years is the last time that happened. We have squirrels, mice, so we encourage people to keep food in coolers or in their cars and just areas where the critters can't get them. But, we're in their home and there are critters, but typically not any major issues. Next question, is it ever so crowded at one activity that there is a waiting list to join or use? Not typically in camp. Sometimes some of the things people sign up for, like horseback riding, they have limits. Our hikes, we have a certain number of people we can take in the forest at one time based on Forest Service rules. There's sometimes wait lists for things like that. But for the most part, there's so much space to spread out and so many places to go and camp. If it feels too crowded at the pool, you can come back half an hour later and feel fine. But typically, the answer to that one is no. Yeah, so this next question is, so we pack sleeping bags, clothes, bug spray, and that's it? You provide the rest? Essentially, yeah. If you go to our website, we have a what to bring list that gives you suggestions on what you can bring, but we feed you, we take care of your kids. Most of the arts and crafts activities, or many of them, we provide the supplies. Some things like clay, if you want to do pottery, you purchase the clay at our store. If you want to tie-dye a t-shirt, you bring your own t-shirt, things like that. But you could just bring your bare essentials and not have to worry about anything else if that's the way you want to spend your week, which many people do. All right, that was 27 questions. That's pretty darn good. Okay, here's another one. Great question. What medical do we have at camp? This is a great question. We have an EMT on site 24 hours a day. And then we have a nurse practitioner who is on site 5 of the 6 days that campers are there. We have emergency call boxes in each camp. So if you have a camp emergency in the middle of the night that requires the EMT, you can go to one of those call boxes, press a button, and get direct access to the EMT. So we have good medical services. And then we have Sonora has an Adventist Health hospital down there. So we send people down for more serious injuries. But yeah, we have good medical coverage on site 24 hours a day. Okay, so someone's talking about our, looks like our cancellation policy. Said I tried to sign up for a tent and noticed in fine print there's a $200 charge if someone in your tent doesn't come. Since some people are still unsure about their summer, it is advisable not to list them now, then add a bunk bed and add them at a later date. Kathy, do you want to talk about how people deal with that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't have to declare right now who's in your tent. We just need to know how many so that we get you the right size tent, but you don't have to put down who it is. And the other thing many campers are starting to take advantage of is purchasing trip insurance in advance as a way to be reimbursed if you need to cancel completely for unforeseen circumstances. We provide all that information after you sign up and get a tent, and you can look into it at that point, but it's pretty affordable in a way to get reimbursed if something comes up that you can't come.
Next question is, what is the cost for a specialty weekend? They're all different. The food and wine weekend, I don't have those numbers. You can go to our website and that's all listed. I don't know if Kathy has that handy, but
I was gonna say, we can put a link in the chat to the rates page, what the rates are.
perfect. Is alcohol allowed? Yes. We don't sell alcohol, but people bring their own. Campers will host cocktail parties, before dinner that they invite some or all of the camp to come visit. We host a welcome mixer on Saturday night, the first night of camp. But yeah, alcohol is allowed. Wi-Fi in the tents. There's not Wi-Fi in the tents unless you're lucky enough to be just close enough to one of the main buildings where there's Wi-Fi. You might be able to get it in your tent, but for the most part, no, we do not have Wi-Fi in the tents. Another question, someone said they joined late. Will this recording be available after the call? Absolutely. Kathy, will we post it on the website, or I'm not sure we know exactly what the plan is on that.
Yeah, I think we'll send a link out to everybody who signed up, and then put a link on our website, probably through YouTube.
All right, great question. The phone number to call with further questions, Kathy?
Sorry, yeah. You can call us, you can reach us at 510-900-8255. I'll put that in the chat. Or yeah, thanks, Pat. Or you can email us.
Kathy froze a little bit. So the email address is lair@alumni.berkeley.edu. Caroline, maybe you could put that in the chat as well.
We return calls quickly.
Yeah. And so we are still working mostly remotely at the Alumni Association. So email is probably the quickest way to get a call back at this point. Someone's asking, what's the frequency of the talks, the guest speakers? That's twice a week on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights. So there's 2 opportunities each week, and they actually typically, they camp with you. So they are very accessible throughout the week. Sit at a meal with them and have further discussion if you wish, or have a cup of coffee at the lodge in the morning. So it's great. It's a great program. Will there be boating this year? We plan to be back in full action with the paddle boating at the Lair, or at the lake. Yeah, we did a little bit of kayaking last year. But it was kind of hit and miss depending. When the Delta variant came, it kind of changed things a little bit. All right, these are great questions. And please, after this, email the office, call the office. We want to answer questions. It's what we do. We love talking about the Lair. We'll do our best to convince you that it's going to be a fantastic vacation, because we believe it, deep in our soul. New question just popped up. Question was, if we fill the form online tonight and call tomorrow about specifics, can we change our mind if necessary tomorrow? Of course. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, and so for those who attended and want to share this with a friend, we have the recording and you have all this information. Please, invite a friend, invite your relatives. We have room. Like I said, if you're flexible, we can pretty much get you in one of our sessions if you're flexible. And again, Josh is doing a little pitch for staffing. Our staff applications are up and online, and we are looking for talented, energetic, fun, college-age kids. They don't have to go to Cal, although we do about 50% of our students are from Cal. All right. This was great. Thank you, everybody. This is great participation. Again, come join us. We'd love to meet you in the mountains. And can they unmute themselves, Keith? Or not? Everybody wants to unmute yourselves on the count of two. We'll do a Go Bears.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Go
Bears!
Bears!
Bears. Go Bears.
I did say.
Go Bears.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go
Thank
Julia.
you.
Go Bears.
Yeah.